Yes, please. And after all the questions are exhausted, then I'll permit Mr. Bashir here to take over the floor. Huh? He's getting very impatient now for his turn.
So my question relates to the acceptance of prayer, and it came out because as a result of a discussion with Nun Ahmadi.
Yes.
And it is related to Hazrat Khalifatul Masih II, that Hazrat Muslim Maud always prayed that he may return to Qadian. And why wasn't his prayers accepted?
No, prayer is not an order. Prayer is begging Allah. So if every prayer of everyone is accepted, then the master-servant relationship will be reversed. Then servant will become the master and God will become the servant. It is absurd to conceive the concept, to conceive prayer to be such a thing. It's not a bidding. It is a request, and a very humble request for that matter. The more humble it is, the greater there is a possibility of its acceptance. So, Hazrat Rasul Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wished so much for the entire mankind to become mu'min, believer in God, and one God for that matter, there and then. Did he not? The Holy Quran records this fact. It is so much desired, yearned for this. And even today that prayer is not yet accepted. Start from the sources instead of coming to a much later period, then you will understand the phenomena of prayer. The whole Allah answers this question there in this regard and tells Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if Allah had so desired, He could have turned the entire mankind into believers. But it is not the design of things. So if you want to change Allah's design, however much you pray, I will not accept. And in another instance, you can understand the psyche of Hazrat, the inner self of Hazrat, how kind and compassionate and forgiving and loving he was. He wanted to pray for certain hypocrites about whom Allah had told him clearly that they are not true believers. Today's mullah declares that the moment you come to know of someone or suspect someone to be a hypocrite, you behead him immediately. And the attitude of Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam as recorded and preserved in the Holy Quran was this, that he wanted to pray for those and Allah was stopping him to pray for them. Yet because he was not ordered categorically to stop praying for them, he continued. So Allah admonished him by telling him that even if you pray 70 times for these people, I am not going to accept that prayer. So stop it. So now what is the concept of prayer now? The dearest to God, the nearest to God, for whom we say and we know, we believe, and we can logically prove that the universe was created. He was summit, the last of things. His prayers in one instance are recorded by the Holy Quran not to have been accepted. And in another instance, Allah stops him from praying and warns him that even if he does it 70 times, his prayer will not be accepted. And the response of Muhammad is so wonderful and so beautiful. He took shelter in this excuse that Allah did not say mention an unlimited number of prayers. When he mentioned 70 times, so I'll pray more than 70 times. You see? Yes. So you first rectify your concept of prayer, then such things are no problems.
Yes, but Hazur, the implication there was that Allah would make a distinction or differentiate the true from falsehood, or on whose side he was by accepting the prayer, because
whatever wherever you extend this, there will be a counter argument from the Holy Quran about it. Noah prayed so much, and he wanted this distinction to be made by people accepting him. And God not only forbade Noah to pray, but before his very eyes, he caused his son to be drowned, to declare that your prayer will not be accepted with regard to such people. And right at that moment, he was protesting against this. So rectify your concept of prayer first. Otherwise, there will be so many things which will be out of order and which will not fit with the scheme of things as you observe.
Hazur, can I ask a second question?
Yes, please do.
There are a number of different religions present. The fact that I think it probably leads to my first answer to it as well. The fact that Holy Prophet ﷺ has appeared, his advent has taken 1400 years. Why is it that other religions continues to persist? Continues to exist,
This I have already explained. Allah has very clearly made clear his plan of things. Man sha'a fal yumin wa man sha'a fal yakfur. And this is the overriding plan. If it's so much so that when Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed and desired so much for this plan to be changed, Allah told him very clearly, no, this choice, this option will remain with the people, and your prayer will not help those who have decided to go astray. So if a prayer interferes with this grand scheme of things, it is not accepted. So this is the reason why we find so many infidels and non-believers and hypocrites and other people of many categories, because they have been given the choice. Now you remove the choice and immediately all the responsibility of the evil will be shifted to Allah's shoulders. So these scheme of things have such basic foundation that they cannot be altered. It's impossible for anyone to alter these schemes, because then a greater evil will appear from underneath them. So you have to accept it. The choices will remain with that person who is also punishable for his actions. It has to be his choice.
Assalamu alaikum. In the Quran, it says that the earth was formed in 2 days, but from scientific investigations, it's been proved that the earth was formed over a period of millions of years.
Do you know what days means?
Probably refers to earth days.
How could God say that when earth was not formed? Because the day and night is a phenomena which is born out of earth's existence, and the moon's existence.
Yes.
So how could Allah say that in 2 days He created the first things when the days were not created in the first instance? Look, refer to the other verses of the Holy Quran, then you will come to learn that the word yom, which is used, is not used for this day of 24-hour duration at all. The Holy Quran mentions it in more than one place, that the day by which you reckon is a different day from the day by which we reckon. And also illustrates this point in one place by telling us that in some respects Allah's day extends to 1,000 years as compared to your one day. And another place the Holy Quran tells us that Allah's day is 5,000 years long, while your day, you know how short it is. And in another instance, the Holy Quran says, one day of Allah is 50,000 years long. So they are the illustrations of an ascending order without limit. I have worked on this. If there are